la señora López. Ella va a traducir la presentación. And if you have come in and you have not picked up some of the worksheets on the table, please take this time to do that.
Good evening. Good evening. So nice to see you this evening. We've had about 4 days of our regular school year and our summer bridge last week. Our ninth grade scholars are nicely acclimating to the E3 way. They understand, they're beginning to understand the rigor of the program, and that our job is really to prepare them to thrive in a global society that none of us can yet understand. And so this week, we've been spending time thinking about how we engage in learning, finding out ways to help us do that in terms of organizing ourselves, in terms of mindfulness, and ways to help us de-stress, ways to help us focus in class. And then we've been looking at our syllabi, so you should have been seeing those syllabus come home for each of the courses that your scholars are in. We call them our scholars and also our babies. And we call them babies for a very good reason, because they are dear to us. And when we say babies, can you all hear me? Anybody have any problems? All right. So when we say babies, that's because they're really dear to us. So they're our scholars, but they're also our babies. And so those are the words that you will hear us use: scholars, babies, and sometimes our kiddos. All right. But right now, this week, we are preparing them for the rigor of the year that is ahead and the 4 years that are ahead. And so when they leave us in 2021, our goal is to have them ready not just to be college and career competitive, but also to be ready to deal with the world in general. So that means to have some discipline of mind, to have discipline in terms of how they go about their business in all areas, in terms of the things that they put in their bodies, in terms of the things that they take in or surround themselves with, and then to be lifelong scholars. And so those are the conversations that we're having this week and will continue to have again with our babies. We have our counselors. I'm going to introduce them. I saw our CEO around here somewhere, and I apologize. My name is Dr. Ward. I'm the Chief of Academics. I didn't say that when we got started here. And so I'm here at E3. I'm also a professor in the Department of Educational Leadership at San Diego State. I've been there 10 years. This is my 11th year there. I was a principal in the Long Beach Unified School District and also a supervisor of schools in Long Beach Unified, and then a principal coach for the years before coming here to E3, as well as being a professor at San Diego State. So I know our CEO wants to say a few words, Dr. Griffith, and then she'll introduce our staff here.
Well, good evening. Everybody awake? Yes, happy Friday Eve and long weekend. Anybody excited about Labor Day? I am. I'm sure you are too. You get your babies back. I know you've been missing them. But I know somebody says, no, we're good. It's the most wonderful time of the year. You guys remember that commercial by Staples when the mother's going through singing it's school time? Getting the babies back to school. We couldn't be happier that you have trusted us with your children, with your scholars, with the brightest, the best, the beautiful, the most intelligent scholars that you know. You've sent them to us. And we hope that we will serve them well. It is our goal to give them a first-class, world-class, quality education where they have skills and competency and compassion and empathy and love and respect and integrity and all those things that you're teaching them at home. We hope to instill that in them here at E3 Civic High for their 4 years. And that's why you're here tonight, because you're our partners and we can't do the work without you. And we're here to share with you the plan, the vision, and so that we can all work hard together so that your scholar will stand on our shoulders and do better than we've done. And I'm excited to be here. As many of you know, this is the 3rd school that I've opened in San Diego. I am the only African-American female that I know of or that has opened 3 schools. And so I'm really proud of that because I'm from Southeast San Diego. I grew up here in San Diego. I've been here for a few years. I'm not going to tell you how many. My mother is an educator. She was at San Diego Unified for 38 years, a teacher and a principal. My grandmother was also a teacher, so I'm a 3rd-generation educator. And so I'm really passionate about this work, and I've given my life in service, at least to E3 Civic High, for the last 6 years. And so we're excited. And not only am I excited, but we have the best and the brightest staff in the world. No one works harder than them. No one works longer than them. No one cares as much as they do. And I'm just honored that they have joined arms with us and with you to bring a world-class educational experience for your scholars. We have new staff on this year, and I know some of the scholars, of course, our 9th graders did not experience the transition, but we had 2 new Spanish learning facilitators, and we have 4 other new learning facilitators because we had 5 to leave for various reasons. And some people think that's a bit high in turnover, but I want to let you know my friend who's the principal at Horton Elementary. Anybody know Horton? She has 23 teachers, and 19 of them are new. So if you think we have high turnover, I want to let you know that we do not have high turnover as comparison. Millennial Tech Middle, which I just left, lost 13 of 23 teachers in terms of turnover. So you need to know that we have a very stable environment here in spite of the media that we hear in terms of large turnover for charters. You need to look at the turnover at other schools to get it accurate. And we always like to teach our scholars to be critical thinkers and not just take what they hear, but look at the data and see what's going on. And so we're proud that we have a very amazing staff, a stable staff, as you'll hear when they come and share with you earlier. And am I supposed to introduce you all, or are you going to do that yourselves? I think I'll let them do that. Any other staff members, if you can come on up and say who you are and what you do here. We got here this morning at 7, and we haven't been home yet. And so we're excited that they stay long to meet and greet you. We have dinner cooked upstairs. We've been slaving all day cooking in the kitchen. I just took my apron off, and we'll be serving on tonight as you come up, and we'll have some music, some fun. We have some wonderful raffles for you. I think we even have a $100 gift card from Amazon as courtesy of one of our parents. And I don't know if they want me to introduce them, but I might embarrass them later and just show how amazing they are once we're up there for dinner. But we have a lot of giveaways. All of you will go home with something tonight, especially your scholar. You'll go home with them as well as another little trinket. And we're just so honored, again, to have you as part of the E3 family and to serve you over the next at least 4 years, because once you become a part of the family, our support for you never ends. So, again, let's give it up for this amazing staff. Come on over, team. And I'm going to throw the mic. Woohoo! They are phenomenal, and they're going to tell you who they are, what they do here, and we're at your disposal. And then, disposable, oh my gosh, I'm hungry. We're at your disposal, and we will see you upstairs as I finish cooking.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Angie Colon, and I am the College and Career Counselor for scholars whose last names begin with A all the way through L.
Hi, I'm Cindy Couperes. I'm also one of the College and Career Counselors here, and I serve students with the last name M through Z.
My name is Paul Smith. I'm the wellness counselor here at E3. It's my first full year. As some of you may know, I was just here on Fridays. I'm here every day because the passion and desire that I want to have the scholars go to the next level and understanding the mental health side of it, and just want to be able to reach out to you guys. So that's what I'll be doing.
I'm Charlene Carter, and I serve as your registrar as well as scholar support liaison.
Hello, everybody. My name is Brianna Pruitt. Your scholars might call me Furlong. I had a name change and life celebration this summer. I am a humanities learning facilitator here for 9th grade.
Hi, I'm Michelle Harkrider, and I am an instructional coach as well as a humanities learning facilitator for 12th grade.
Hi, my name is Anna Strahl. I teach Math 1 to 9th and 10th graders. I also teach a Writing to Publish e-block.
Hi, I'm Mary Ellen True, and I am an educational specialist. So those of you who have 9th graders who have had an IEP in the past, I will be their case manager. And I also work in the classroom to support all scholars to achieve their goals.
Hi, I'm Yan Jiao, and I'm from China. I'm a real Chinese. So, yeah, I'm here to teach your children, your boys and girls, all the scholars, the Mandarin 1, the year 9 students. So if you girl or boy choose the Mandarin 1, I will be their only Chinese teacher. So hope we can keep contact, work hard to make them much more, what do we say, in our logo, much more worldwide, international, learn Chinese better. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Tracy Muse, and I'm the chemistry teacher, and I also teach food science and play with them with the food in the kitchen. Thank you.
I'm Andy Pappas. I teach AP Calculus, Advanced Physics, Integrated Math 3, and also Integrated Math 3 Readiness for the kids who aren't ready for Math 1. And my E-block is cross country.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Xu, Dean of Instruction. Welcome to E3.
Good afternoon. My name is Cecia Portillo, and I am Dean of Scholar and Instruction Support.
Hi, my name is Constance Logan, and I am an E3 Scholar Support Liaison, and my other half is over there, Miss Linda Lopez.
Also Scholar Support Liaison, Chantal Rivas.
Jason Brown, I'm one half of the IT department. The other half is behind the computer making sure everything works. His name is Connor Russell.
All right, thank you, team. One more hand for the team.
Okay, so welcome everybody to this wonderful 9th grade meeting. I do want to start off by going over kind of an agenda so that you understand what we're going over. We will cover quite a bit of information in the next 45 minutes or so. So we already kind of crossed the introductions off. Humanities expectations, so that's the 9th grade humanities class. What to see the registrar for so that you know all the resources that you have here at E3. Then we'll go into counselor information, so what you might come see me or Ms. Couperis for and what you might go see Mr. Smith for. High school transition, obviously coming from 8th grade into high school is a huge transition, so just helping out with that. Graduation requirements, we want our 9th graders to know that right off the bat so that there are no surprises come their senior year, and also so that they are prepared and know what classes they are taking, how they will affect their future. College readiness, academic expectations, and then the library resources. We are housed inside the public library, which is an amazing resource, so going over that. And then we'll have hopefully some time for questions at the end. So to get us started, I will ask Ms. Pruitt to come on up.
Okay, hello everybody. I just wanted to make sure that every parent or guardian at home knows that we're going to be doing lots of reading. And we often assign reading for homework. So if your scholar comes home and says, no, of course I don't have any homework, I want you to say, are you sure? I do love to assign reading outside of class. It's a really good practice to be reading every evening at night. It's also a great way to disconnect from technology and allow your brain to calm down and prepare to go to sleep. And the most important thing about reading at home is that it prepares scholars for discussions and activities and learning in class. We do reading during our class time. However, we like to also assign the responsibility outside of class so that we can save more time for the in-class discussion. Some of our expectations this year, it didn't save. Okay, so we're going to go over this verbally. Some of our expectations this year will include 2 novels during the first semester. We're going to begin with our summer reading as well as some short stories. All of your scholars should have received a copy of a Sherman Alexie book. If they have not at this point, please email E3 Civic High, either myself, B. Furlong at E3 Civic High, or we can also talk with the front desk. If you leave your email, I will get a count and your scholar will have the book by Monday. We will also be working with short stories as well as The Alchemist at the end of this semester. The additional book that they should read outside of class should be a choice book. Please send your scholar with a choice reading book every day to school. It's super important that as a may-do option when they finish their work, there is not cell phone time, there is free reading time. We want to make sure that we're spending all of our instructional time as engaged learners and making the most of our time at E3. We will be working up towards, by the end of the year, 3 to 5 page essays to make sure that we are prepared for our 10th, 11th, and 12th grade years at E3 Civic High. If you are interested in being in honors or AP classes, you should be pushing for 5 to 6 pages so that you are ready for the writing rigor next year. Additionally, we will be working towards 3 to 4 minute presentations by the end of the year. And when we say presentations, we don't necessarily mean read off your laptop like you are a machine. We mean present and be lively and be engaging for your audience. So those are where we're going with our goals this year, and I just wanted to share that with you. We will be going into 2 novels next semester, lots of fun and learning. If you have any questions, please let us know. And that's the end of my spiel. Yay.
Hello, my name again is Charlene Carter, and hopefully you picked up, there's 3 pieces of paper I needed you to pick up. The first one being the official transcript paperwork. And your scholars have already seen this paperwork. They've had a couple of different presentations on how to use this, but I wanted you to be involved in the process as well. All right, and so at this point, again, as a registrar, what I do is I'm the keeper of the records, and my goal and desire for your scholar, your child, our baby, is to make sure that that transcript is an accurate representation of the courses that they've taken and the grades that they've earned. So I'm going to ask you to partner with me and check that transcript. And please know that it is not a bother whatsoever for you to ask to see this transcript. In fact, I'm hoping that you would actually ask to see a transcript at least once a year, because it'd be a lot easier to correct mistakes as soon as they happen versus 2 to 3 weeks before 12th grade is ending. So please feel free to do that, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And right now, some of your scholars have already started their high school transcript. So if they took math or languages in the 7th and 8th grade, they have already started a high school transcript. Okie dokie, and then I'm going to show you now how to request the transcript. All right, so you have the form in front of you. Request the form for unofficial transcript. And then if you could please click on that hyperlink on the bottom for me. You can go through that. And every single line on this is important, and it's really critical once we get to where you're looking for the scholarship, this transcript for such things as activities for your scholar to participate in, or for college applications, or for all different types of things. So what I need on the very first line is your scholar's name. And what name I need on that is the name the way it appears on their birth certificate. So if on their birth certificate they have 2 or 3 last names, I need this to reflect the 2 or 3 last names. If on the birth certificate they have a hyphen, I need this to reflect the hyphen. And then the next important thing on here is your address and phone number. And so even though you'll say, well, you already have it, this is another way of catching that. So if every single time you fill out a form in which we're asking for your address, if you would just go ahead and do that again, it's just so we can get a hold of you and be able to give your scholar the information that they need. And then I want to jump down to where it says institution name, this area here. If you're asking for this because you want your scholar to participate in an extracurricular activity, please give us all the information. All right, so we're just tracking. We want to see what our scholars are doing, because what your scholar is doing this year could be something that we could now share with our other scholars so they can participate in years to come as well. And so looking at this form, I know you have just had a moment to look at it. Are there any questions on this form? So let me tell you how you can get this form. Your scholar will have access to it. It will also be on the website. Also, when you come into the office, right when you're at the front desk, there's that little acrylic, I think it has like 5 slots, and one of them says transcript form. And then you can also shoot me an email, and my email address is at the bottom of this as well. Right, so that's the transcript. Do I have any questions about how to fill out, when to request a transcript? Okay, and then there's a difference between it being an official or unofficial transcript, and then the processing time is 72 hours, and that does not include weekends or holidays. Most times I'm able to do it faster than that, but if it's a hectic, busy time, then 72 hours and you'll definitely have it. So if we have no questions about this, let's go on to the next one, the next area. And the next thing here is we want our scholars to be civically engaged. And what that means for us is that they are not just consumers, they also participate in the community around them, and they do that through their service. And so in 9th grade, our expectation is before the 9th grade year is over that they have a minimum, and I really want to stress minimum of 50 hours. 10th grade, a minimum of an additional 100 hours. 11th grade, adding again on that an additional 100 hours. 12th grade, adding on 50. With at the time they graduate, they have 300. Again, emphasis is on the minimum of 300 hours. So that's the minimum expectation. And so we have the first form that you're looking at, which is a one-time use form. And that could be if they decide to do clean up the beaches or do something that's just a one-time event. And we don't want them just doing this to get the hours. We want them really to use this as an opportunity to find out for themselves what their passions are. And so at the end, you'll see, if you look at that form now, there's a couple questions for them to reflect. And so please, as your scholars go out and do community service, engage in a conversation with them about this. What do they learn? What do they like? What do they like? They may volunteer at a pet store and realize, I really don't like pets. I like my dog, but I don't like anybody else's. And so this is an opportunity for them to learn and expand their passion and go after their passion. So that form, when you're finished, is turned in to me. Please encourage your scholar to keep a copy for their own records. But it's turned into me. They know where I am. I'm on the 7th floor, and there's a box on the wall that says completed community service forms. And then there's another one. And this is if your scholars say they have found their passion. They really do like working at the pet shelter. So they do it every Thursday afternoon after school and Saturday mornings. So it's the same place, same thing they're doing. Then they would just fill out this form, and once it's complete, again, making and keeping a copy for themselves, they would turn it in to me. And again, even on this one, even though it's the same experience, we're still asking them to reflect, because how they started may be totally different for how they ended. So we want to make sure that they're using this as an opportunity to reflect. And then lastly is no problem. This form you don't have, but there's several different ways in which they can do community service. They can do it at home, school, and community. And so home is anything that's not part of their chore list. So home, for home community service, that could be helping an older or a younger sibling with their homework. It could be noticing that there's a neighbor down the street who they know is an older citizen, and that their grass is getting high. They could offer to go cut their grass, walk their dog. There's all kinds of ways in which they can help out in home. And in their first year, they can do that up to 18 hours so they get comfortable helping other people. And again, they can't be compensated. This is not extra TV time, extra computer time. It is a sacrificial giving of their own time on the benefit and for the benefit of someone else. And then school. We really want them to be an active part of the school community. And so school will be joining a club, not signing their name on the list, but actively participating in our service clubs. And then what you would expect community service to be, which is going out even beyond their home, beyond the school, into the community and making a difference and an impact. Do I have any questions? Yes. Her question is, do they turn it in at the end of, after they've accumulated 50 hours, or they turn it in monthly? My suggestion would be as soon as that form is filled out to bring it to me. Yes. Yes, the question is, his church participates in a lot of feeding home programs. Could his scholar earn credit for that? And the answer is definitely yes. Yes, as long as there's a signature and it's an activity that's benefiting another person, yes. Thank you all so very much. Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see you. That I'll defer to my dean.
They actually can't work for any business that is not a nonprofit. So if it's a for-profit, then it can't count towards their community service hours. Okay.
Okay, so we are back. We did introduce ourselves already, but we are the two college and career counselors here. Once again, my name is Angie Colon, and this is Cindy Couperis. So we are going to now go into, this is Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith.
Thank you. Okay, so what my job here is, my role is to interact with the scholars and to actually have communication with the families as well. And I know some of you have had a chance to hear me on the phone or had a chance to talk to me. It's the way I believe this approach should be made. With us here at E3, I believe it's a family. So when I talk to the kids, I talk to them, I refer to them as, where's your sister? And I want to know, where's the other one? It's just trying to make sure that that happens. Some of the things we'll be going over at Family Matters. Who is my family? My belief is everybody that I come in contact with. My therapeutic orientation is family systems. And with Ms. Furlong, Ms. Pruitt, when she does the yoga, she does it with a trauma-informed approach, as well as my background from the last 6 years. Grief and loss. We want to talk about that with some of our scholars and with some of the families, because we know that when we deal with grief and loss, we know sometimes this process takes a while. So we want to make sure everybody's aware of that. So some of the things that I'll be doing is working with them with grief and loss as well. Emotional regulation, want to know how those stages happen. Adolescent development, those happen in stages, and we have to always be aware. Not everything that we think of as a parent now, when we look at our scholars, if they're 16, 15, 14, we think like, yeah, you should just get it. Sometimes we have to remember they're just 14, 15, and 16. So it's just recognizing those stages. Peer concerns, inside and outside of E3. We have scholars that actually come here from other high schools and other institutions, and we want to make sure that they understand that the E3 family want to make sure that they're safe and secure and they have this environment for learning. The next one, healthy coping stages or strategies. What are some of the positive ones that we talk about? What are some of the negative ones that they display? And how can we help them start to employ a bit more of those healthy coping strategies? The next one is when I'm just not sure. When I'm just not sure, when I need to come in. My commitment is to you is that it's always available. See people on Mondays and Fridays. During lunchtime, I'll be roaming around, and some of the scholars and learning facilitators have known, like, I'll just walk in to their class because I want everybody to feel like we're a part of something. And if they have a question, I'm always accessible, because I know going through high school, can you think back what it was like for you in high school? The ups and downs, all that experience, and I am always committed to knowing and trying to think to them, how is that experience going? I want them to enjoy their time. In my school, there were 4 kids that looked like me. It was hard. And as far as like coming from different diverse backgrounds, I totally understand it. I don't know what it's like for them, but I want you guys to know that I have a commitment to them and to you to do that. So those phone calls are going to happen. We're going to have like visits with families, and we're going to figure out a way to help them get through this process from a holistic approach. The family here at E3 and extend it to you guys. That's just my commitment to you guys, okay? All right, and next.
Thank you. So I'm going to go over some of the reasons that you might come to see a counselor, since sometimes scholars might think that it's just if they're, having a bad day, but it's much more than that. So this is kind of a list of it. I'll go over a few of them. Academic advising is a big part of my name is Couperis' job, making sure that you're on track to graduate on time, making sure that you're A through G eligible, which we'll get into that a little bit later, what that means. College and career info, making important decisions. Sometimes you just need kind of a listening ear to figure out what it is that you might actually want to be doing. Just to talk to somebody who might listen. Again, if you are having that bad day, all 3 of our doors are always open. If you're having trouble focusing on school, we can help you with some strategies to help you kind of get that back. Scheduling's a big part of our job right now. We've been doing schedule changes and making sure that everybody has a schedule that they are happy with. And then lastly, mediating conflicts. But the biggest thing that we have on here is that we just want you all to know that we are here to help at the end of the day. We're here to help both you and the scholars make sure that they are feeling safe, happy, and in a space where they're ready to learn here at E3.
Okay, so everybody is new to ninth grade, and there is, as you know, a big kind of jump from middle school to high school, which brings more responsibilities. And sometimes little scholars get a little lost because everything kind of goes on them. They're looking around, trying to find their teachers. They have more teachers than they think. So here I just wanted to make you aware of what the differences are. In high school, there are more classes. They have 4 mods, A and B days, so we make it really fun for them. And then we throw in E-block. So there's just a lot going on, and so that we are here to help them get through that. I had a scholar today, didn't really know where she was going, so I walked her around to all the classes. So just make sure that they know if your scholars are at home getting a little anxious about it, tell them to come and see us, and we can walk them through that. That's what we're here for. Switching classes is a big one. Some middle schools, you might switch classes a little bit. Here, basically every mod you switch classes. In high school, we have a lot of ninth graders that they have so much homework from all of these different classes. So staying organized and keeping a calendar is a huge benefit to them. And we can also help with that, walk them through calendars. We have Google calendars. There's all kinds of different coping skills for that. Also, one big thing we want to get across to all the ninth graders is all of your grades are going to stay with you through high school. They matter. They will go on your transcript 2 times a year. So after each semester, those grades are finalized. And that will appear on your transcript for all 4 years. And that is exactly what colleges are looking at come their senior year. Also testing. There's a lot of tests out there. We are going to be taking the PSAT here in about a month, in a couple weeks. These tests also matter for getting ready for those big college admissions tests. And then also when they do get those final grades, if they do fail a class such as English or math, they will have to take that class over again. There is no bumping up to the next level just because they're going to the next grade. They will have to remediate that class, sometimes even online. So that can get difficult for ninth graders to understand. And then also high school has a lot of activities. There's a lot of fun things that they can do. They can start getting internships. In a couple years, they can start working. So just making sure that they can get involved. That's a very, very positive thing for scholars to do. It makes them feel a lot more at home here, and we always welcome the opportunity for them to get involved. But through this all, like Ms. Colon said, we are here to support you. So if you're having problems trying to get your scholar to get involved, please let us know, and we can try to help them with that, okay?
Okay, the fun one. So this is a nice table. We actually have a worksheet that has on one side all of our courses. On the other side, it has graduation requirements, A through G requirements, and then college competitive recommendations. So I'm going to go through our graduation requirements, and you can see how it matches up to the rest of them. But just so that you know, A through G requirements are a set of required courses that scholars must take and pass with a C or better to even be considered to apply. So that's the big one, that it's even to be eligible. If you do not meet these standards, you can't actually even submit an application. So that's a really big thing to remember. On top of that, you also usually need for a CSU or UC admission a 3.0 GPA. So just keep that in mind for the California Public Schools. So for history, we do have 3 years. That matches up all the way across the board. For English, also 4 years. That's just a California state requirement to be able to graduate. Mathematics is 3 years. If you see on the far column, 4 years are recommended. Most of our scholars do take 4 years of math. By the time they get to their senior year, they usually have an option between pre-calculus, AP calculus, or statistics, and we are hoping to bring AP statistics soon since we have our statistics class this year. Science, we require 3 years. Again, most of our scholars do end up taking 4 years, with their senior science being anatomy or physics or one of the AP classes, biology or chemistry. And then foreign language, you do need 2 years of the same language, okay? So sometimes a scholar will struggle and then switch over to another language. That won't actually count for the 2 years. You start over. So that's important to remember. You do need at least 2 years. 3 years is really recommended. I would definitely recommend 3 years. The only way to actually learn a language is to continuously practice that language. So if you are trying to become fluent in it, I would take it all 4 years if you can, getting all the way up to the AP level for Spanish. And for Mandarin this year, we've actually implemented a Mandarin 7-8 for some of our seniors that were really wanting to continue their Mandarin language practice. Then we have the visual art and performing art elective. We only require 1 year. Most of our scholars end up taking more than that throughout their time here. A college prep elective, which is just a part of the A through G requirement. It's basically an approved class through the UC portal, and it can be through any of these other subjects. And then lastly, E3 electives, which they will get just by being here. And then you do need 2 years of PE. Luckily, we do have a lot of options for PE. So we have the regular physical education class. We have a Latin dance class, which has become super popular this year. We have a yoga class. For our E-blocks, we have cross country. We also have intramural sports where some kids can play soccer. So we have about 5 different options for PE. So if you wanted to take the regular PE 1 year and maybe the next year you wanted to try out Latin dance, you can do that, and then your PE requirement is fulfilled. So we did want to kind of show you this so you could see it's a total of 44 credits. The A through G requirements, like I said, C or higher. So what does that mean? If your scholar gets a D in their English class, but they really want to go to San Diego State, they should take that class over. Like Ms. Couperus said, that will never leave their transcript, but when they retake that class, that new grade is what you would use to apply to college. So please, if anyone gets discouraged after maybe first semester they get a D, it's not over. We're definitely going to push for you all to retake some of the classes, especially if you're really wanting to go to the 4-year. We're going to push you for that. So just so that you all know that. Any questions? Summer school. So this past year we did have a summer academy, and it was competency based. So if they were failing a class or getting a D in a class, they did have the opportunity to come on site for the last 2 weeks of June. And they basically did work that tested their competency in that class. And they took different exams. If they were able to pass those exams, then they were able to make up that grade essentially for second semester. So it would go up to a C. And that's the highest grade that you could earn because you did have an F or a D beforehand. But if you did have the competency, it would give you the C so that it would count. So it does depend on the school. The A through G requirement right here, there's actually a portal that we can send out to all of you, and it shows you the approved classes per school. If it's not approved on that portal, then we cannot approve it as well. So as long as it is approved, it usually works out to transfer, but I would definitely check with us, Ms. Carter, as well, the registrar, to make sure that the credit transfers before you enroll the scholar in that class. It is possible. We definitely push our scholars to stay here through the 4 years, but if they do put in the work and they're able to kind of complete the requirements, they are able to. We did have someone just do that. So it is possible. We would then kind of sit down, counselors with the parent, scholar, make sure everybody knows what exactly the work is to put into that, because you're essentially doing 2 years of work in 1 year. So it is hard, but it's possible.
Okay, along with the graduation requirements for E3, they have to maintain a 2.0 GPA or higher. So no matter if they've passed all of their classes, if they have a point or 1.99, they wouldn't be able to graduate. So what we would do is have them make up one of those classes and try to get that GPA higher and higher until it reaches that point. I don't think anybody's going to have that problem here, but that's just what the requirement is. Again, there's 44 credits that are needed for graduation and 300 community service hours. But as Ms. Carter was talking about, if they do that along the way, it will be no problem for them to get that done. Does everybody know what a GPA is? A GPA is a grade point average, so they average all of their grades for the semester, and then for a cumulative 9 through 12. So that's your cumulative GPA. Some of the tips that we would like to let you guys know to succeed in high school is making sure they get into the habit of completing and turning in all of their homework, studying for exams, and asking all of their LFs for help if they need it. We have had a lot of conversations in the past with scholars that didn't have grades for assignments. And when we talked to them, they're like, oh yeah, I did that. Did you turn it in? They didn't turn it in. So make sure that you're actually following that up with, did you turn it in? Because a lot of the turning, the way the learning facilitators accept the homework is through online portals, so they actually have to press submit. So that's one of the questions I do ask when they are missing assignments is, did they do that? And did they actually turn it in? Because we do find a lot of scholars are holding on to a lot of work that would get them those points up, and then they wouldn't be talking to us about their D that they have in class. Another tip, did you have a question? Yes, there is something on PowerSchool called Parent Portal, correct? And during back to school night, Mr. Russell will be helping you sign up for Parent Portal. And Parent Portal is really nice. You can log in, check grades, you can set up alerts, so if a grade dips down, if it goes up, you'll get an alert for it. So we really recommend that you get your account for Parent Portal as soon as possible, so that way you can keep tabs on the scholars. Then email us and email their LFs anytime you see anything that might be a little off. Okay. Another big tip that we talk to our 9th graders about is just being organized, having folders for different classes, having a calendar for deadlines. There's a lot of different classes going on, and it makes it very overwhelming for them. So if they have a calendar, some kind of system that they use to stay organized, that's very, very helpful. Another thing we're working on with 9th graders is making sure they're taking responsibility for their work and how much work they're actually putting into it. It is their grade. We want them to get the best grade that they can, so we want them to take responsibility for that. And then another thing that we're also pushing is just start strong. Maintaining a high GPA is easy. Once your GPA dips down and trying to get that GPA up, that gets very difficult. It's easier to keep it high than to start low and then try to get it where you want it to be in a couple years. Does anybody have any questions?
So something I just found out is that in the next few weeks, we are actually handing out calendars and planners to our scholars. So that is an opportunity for you to be able to help them, make sure you're checking that, making sure that they're able to actually write their homework down. If they tell you, oh, I don't have homework, open up that planner, you're able to see that. So it's kind of mirroring what we're doing here and at home as well. So moving on to the college readiness, we did hand out this College Board 9th and 10th grade plan for college. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, college, we just got to high school. But because so many things matter in high school, it is important to start thinking about it right now. And I promise you, the 4 years are going to go by like that. And suddenly you're going to be watching your child graduate high school, and the plan's going to have to be in place. So we do want to prepare you starting off right now so that nothing's a surprise senior year, so that it goes smoothly. And here are some of the things that you can do that are on that page. Create a 4-year plan. We'll be helping our scholars create a personalized learning plan so that they're able to see their work over the next 4 years. And of course, that's changeable throughout. Start thinking about life after high school. What kinds of things are they interested in? What kinds of fields have you seen that maybe they light up talking about? And if they haven't, then looking at different fields that they can explore to find out what those interests are. Get involved in school, like Ms. Caparis said earlier. Save for college. As I'm sure you know, college is quite expensive. Explore summer opportunities. A lot of our scholars have had really great interactions in the summer, whether that's attending PSAT camps, tutoring, but also volunteer opportunities, and a lot of different things over the summer that they can get involved in. Get familiar with the PSAT. All of our 9th graders actually took a practice PSAT during Summer Bridge. And it was actually a grade above what they should have been taking. So some of them might have been a little shocked when they first took it, being like, I know nothing. But when they take the PSAT in October, it is actually grade level. So we did want to start them off with something harder so that they can see what you do have to know. They will eventually have to know that. And when they take the SAT, this just prepares them that much better, seeing it from 9th grade instead of seeing it for the first time 11th or 12th grade. Take the PSAT, which we will take care of that for you. Go on college tours. Our school is actually going on an E3 Civic High college tour. All 4 grades, everyone in the building will be going on a college tour somewhere in San Diego County. So every year, your scholar will be able to see hopefully a new college campus. Get to know your counselor. That's us. We pretty much try to get to know them as well. But just encourage them to come to us with any questions they might have about college. We're super open to talking to absolutely anybody. And getting to know your LFs as well. The LF connections are really important. This is who your scholar is spending all the time with. Every day they're seeing these learning facilitators, so making sure that they're making the connections with them and communicating. Advocating for yourself is a huge one. A lot of times ninth graders come in and they're obviously a little shy. They don't know their way around yet. And after a few weeks, once they get their bearings, definitely let us know if something's up, if something doesn't feel right, if something, in the school is just not sitting well. Let us know so we can help you feel comfortable. We can help fix if there's an issue. We are here to help at the end of the day. And then obviously, most of all, we've said this about a billion times, but keep your grades as high as possible. Like Ms. Cooper said, it's way easier to maintain the high GPA than to try to work your way up from a 2.0 GPA. So please keep that in mind. Does anyone have any questions? Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Ward.
Hello again. I want to touch on a few things. We started with our humanities LF, Ms. Pruitt, discussing what our scholars needed to do in terms of nightly reading. We are in a $185 million library, and we consider the library part of E3. The library considers E3 part of the library. So our scholars need to take full advantage of the library. There are literally millions of books in that library. So our scholars need to get there. They need to get there in the afternoons, after school. We have Mod 6. For those scholars who will not be enrolled in Mod 6, then we will encourage them to go to the library from 3:05 to 4 o'clock. There's a teen center. There are lots of activities in the teen center. There's a homework help there. There's homework help online. They can ask questions through that teen center online portal, and they will get back responses within 24 hours. And this is more for like things like they're writing. So they're writing an essay. They want help with their essay writing. They can go into that portal and get a response within 24 hours. For other homework pieces, they can get responses back rather quickly. So the library is a place where our scholars should be. Now, I'm saying that again because of reading. As a ninth grader, they should be reading an additional 30 to 45 minutes a night. So on top of whatever homework they have, they should be reading an additional 30 to 45 minutes every single night. Now, when they take the SAT, the college cut score that they're looking for is 1110. If you are below 1110, then most colleges won't even look at you. How do you get to 1110? On the reading side, you have to be a reader. To build your vocabulary, you have to read. So what we do here, we look for a number 1390. Our kiddos, they participate in Achieve. So you'll see them come home and you'll see them some nights having to read Achieve articles. Those Achieve articles help build their vocabulary, give them exposure to different content areas, and then we also keep up with their Lexile level. That's a reading level. And that Lexile level tells us how close they are to meeting that 1110. The closer they are to a 1390 on their Lexile level, the closer they are to an 1110 on that SAT. So, at night, after they're done with everything else, we heard Ms. Pruitt say, ask them, are they really done? If they haven't read, they're not really done. So every night, we want them reading 30 to 45 minutes. They will get their Achieve accounts in a couple of weeks. Many of them, well, the ninth graders don't have theirs yet, so they'll get theirs in a couple of weeks. And if they don't have a book, they can go to Achieve. They can pick an article to read. All right, so reading every night, using our library. If they're not in Mod 6, when we finish here at 3:05, the day actually ends at 4, so we expect them to go to the library, go to the teen center, read in the teen center, get homework help. We talked about math a little bit. You heard from Mr. Pappas, the department chair for mathematics. And if our scholars take math every year, they should end with pre-calc by the time they're in 12th grade. If they're not in pre-calc, then they may want to take a APEX course in between or attend a summer school somewhere where they can pick up an additional course. Of course, you want to check, like Ms. Cologne said, to ensure that that class is A through G approved. Now, why pre-calc and calc? Again, if we are looking to get into a four-year university, they're looking for certain things. The first thing is that 1110 cut point. If you don't meet the 1110 cut point, Cal States, San Diego State, and the UCs, then you're pretty much out of that group of universities. So, 1110, first thing. Second thing, they're looking at pre-calc calc. Did the child take pre-calc calc? That's number 2. If they took pre-calc or calculus and they have that 1110, then the algorithm, because it's an algorithm that schools use, San Diego State had 85,000 applicants for 9,000 slots. So they use an algorithm to determine who gets in. 1110, come over here. Pre-calc calc, you stay over here. No pre-calc calc, you move over here, okay? So that's the second thing we want to see, that they get to pre-calc or calculus by their senior year. Computer science. We have computer science courses here. We are beginning this year with exploring computer science for our 9th graders. And then we have UCSD, Python, and then another computer science course that we're offering, and then AP computer science. Why? Because we know moving forward, our scholars need to understand how to operate in that artificial intelligence world. Can they understand simple coding? Can they look at coding or information to do data analysis? And so all of that is in the computer science realm. Moving forward, they have to understand computer science. Got to be able to do a little bit of coding, be able to look at data, plug it into an algorithm, and come up with something. And so artificial intelligence, cars that drive by themselves. Anybody heard of those? We got a new iPhone coming out next month. I think it's the iPhone 8, right? That's a whole different ball game. And so for those things, our babies, they need to know about computer science, okay? So that's another one that we're bringing in, and E3 is ahead of the game when it comes to computer science. And our goal is to constantly keep an eye on what is happening in the global world and where things are going, and to ensure that our scholars get what they need there. AP courses. We offer AP courses not just because they're AP courses, but because those courses are used throughout the world. And those courses, when we take the AP exams, those AP exams, again, are used throughout the world, the same exams. So they help us gauge rigor. So what do we have? We have AP Calculus, we have AP Chemistry, AP Biology, we have AP English Lit, we have Pre-AP, US History, and then we have AP History in the 10th grade. For our scholars to get into AP History in the 10th grade, we heard Ms. Pruitt speak earlier in terms of the amount of writing, and so she spoke of 6 or 7 pages. That's the minimum for that AP history class in the 10th grade. So AP courses, again, to help us with rigor. Thank you. I've got 5 minutes. The CEO over there is telling me, oh, 1 minute. She wants me to finish it up. Okay. So AP courses, and then design thinking. Design thinking, again, is something that we're seeing across the globe. IBM requires all 40,000 of their employees to be trained in design thinking. Our seniors all have a design thinking and internship class, and your babies as well will be involved in that. They'll get involved with design thinking this year through Mr. Newman, their science teacher. So that tells you a little bit about the academic expectations. We heard about grades, but I want to finish up by saying it's not so much about grades. For our math classes, it's based on competency. So homework actually doesn't count in mathematics. You do the homework to learn the material. And then when you come back the next day, we talk about what you didn't learn, or what you don't know. We review that. And then there's a quiz. So we want to start training them not to think that homework is going to get you a grade, but to do your homework to learn. And a grade is not as important as what have you learned. So even if you get an A, if you get a 96, you missed something. What'd you miss? Let's go back and figure out what you missed so that we don't have any holes. So it's not so much about the grades as it is about learning and being the best possible scholar that you can possibly be. Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much for being here tonight. We just have one more thing to share with you that we feel will help your scholars so much that we decided to take a few minutes to talk about it. So the central library that we're in not only offers on-site support, so homework help from 3 to 6 on Monday through Thursday in the homework center on the second floor, but also there are hundreds of digital databases and live support online. So we just want you to be aware that these exist. Know that we will take your scholars, your babies through these applications and make sure they know how to use these through their humanities courses. But I want to introduce you to someone really important. And before we do that, if we could go to the next one. But also let you know that these are some of the absolute best resources that your children can use. I want you to understand that live tutoring means that an educator is online until 10 p.m. every night, offering live tutoring, support through the writing lab, and skill building so that your scholars can become college and career ready. So these are free to anyone with a library card in San Diego. And I do want to mention that Ms. Laura Anthony has provided the service this year of making sure that your scholars have a functioning library card as they come into the year. So we are so excited, and I do want to turn it over to her. So this is Laura Anthony, the manager of our Pauline Foster Teen Center.
Hi guys. So I am the librarian at the Teen Space, which is on second floor. So I'm where all the kids come out to hang out and have fun. And so we're there to help provide the tools your scholars need to do their work. Also to have fun in some other career and college-minded class. But I want to really point out this. Michelle was talking about how cool this is. This is really cool because who's really good at like algebra and calculus here? Right back there. So this person, I can actually give them a formula and say, help me out. They will not give me the answer, even though I say, I'm an adult, just give me the answer. No, they will not give me the answer. They will make you follow through and show your work. So there is someone that is talking to you one-on-one that will help you out. So use this resource. Other resources we have, of course, is the Homework Center. And what I want to emphasize the most on the Homework Center, it's free to print there. Nowhere else in the library it's free to print, but in the Homework Center it's free to print. So if your kid said I can't print, well, yes you can. The Homework Center has it. We're there after school. It's free to print. So where is it free to print? Homework Center. Perfect. And so we're going to do a lot of clubs. On the 12th of September, we're having an open house in our section where we're going to tell you about our clubs. We have an LGBT club, we have a teen council club, we have an anime club, and we have a gamers club. And then we're going to do an open mic to help the kids to streamline their rapping and their music. And we're also going to have, what's the other one? I have an exciting one. Ooh, we're going to do, and for Halloween, we're going to teach people how to walk like zombies and teach them how to do the makeup. So I'm there to have fun, but also provide the resources. So anytime you have any questions, please let me know. But I also wanted to let you know that the library is a library still, so there are rules. So if your kids come into troubles and they have to talk to somebody, I'm going to have to call you guys. And if they're suspended from the library for some reason, like they're telling me off, okay? No, of course not. They would never do that. But say that they did. They had that moment. We all had those days. And they tell me off and I say they're gone for the day. I might need to call you to sit down and talk to you, and we will work together to bring them back into the library. But I want to know, it's a partnership. I want to work with you as much as possible. I want your kids there. I want them safe. I want them secure, and I want them to have fun, and I want them to be successful adults. So anytime you guys have any questions or want any information, I'm here 80 hours or 40 hours a week. How about that? Okay, thank you guys, and have a great year.
All right. Thanks to the library. They are our chief partner. We're the only school in the United States of America that's coexisting inside a $185 million library. So we are very, very special, very fortunate to be in this space. And we want to honor our partnership, but we want to use that library to its fullest extent to make sure our scholars are the best that they can be. And we're getting ready to go upstairs for dinner. Anybody hungry? Yay, I'm hungry. Right. So we're about a minute over, but I wanted to let you know that we have a very special booth upstairs. It's manned by Ms. Baez, and we're planning a trip to Mexico City on June 20 through 28. It's our goal at E3 Civic High that every scholar do international travel. For the past 3 years, we've sent our scholars to China. We'll send them again in June of this year. As a matter of fact, a couple of our scholars who went to China are here tonight to talk about that experience if you'd like to see them. But on June 20 through 28, we'll be going to Mexico City, the Yucatan. We'll see the Aztec and the Mayan pyramids. The cost is $2,000. We'll be doing fundraising. Make sure you stop by the booth. Also, if you're interested in China, the trip to China, have your scholars see your Mandarin teacher. And this PowerPoint will be on the web. It's recorded tonight. We'll put it on the web tonight, and we'll also email it to you so you can have the information. We want to make sure that all of our parents are empowered this year to get involved. So without further ado, let's go on upstairs and get a raffle ticket. We have many giveaways tonight. Then we're going to get in, have dinner and a little table talk, and then we'll be out of here at 6:54 p.m. Not a moment later. Thank you again for coming. We love you, and have a wonderful dinner upstairs.